Good morning, and welcome to Monday's editions of Shortcut for Your Soul. And I've got my guardian angel John with me today, and it's on overcoming the greatest enemy. And you've heard it probably many times, but he came in very strong, and you're going to be faced with this in the coming days, and especially the coming year. Individually, not just as a collective, but individually, we are all faced with the greatest threat to humanity, and it's fear. Fear is the greatest threat to human existence. When we are not in fear, we do things very, very differently. And when John came in and said it's important this message get communicated, that the only way to overcome fear, that there was only one way to overcome fear, and that is to basically not live in it, to be in the present moment. That is one of the most difficult things for most people to get into, to literally stay in the present moment. For people that are living in fear or anger or any of the children of fear, anger, guilt, shame, depression, judgment, any of those children of fear, fear is the only enemy we have to face as a species and as individuals. And he said, for those of you that are in any of the children of fear or aligned with them, it's very important you understand that the moment you're in the present moment, that is the end of fear, exists in the present moment. And that's pretty cool. Think about that. That if you're living in the present moment, right here, right now, and you have no concern for what happened yesterday, and you no longer have concern about what's going to happen tomorrow, you move into the present moment. He says that is the greatest threat to fear, is the present moment. All fear ends in the present moment. The challenge that you need to get beyond is that you are able to move your awareness into the present moment. You are all able to move your awareness into the present moment. However, you are distracted by your mechanism of expression. The biology that you utilize is to be just that, a vehicle that you utilize, not something that you are utilized by. Your 5 physical senses are there for you to appraise your creative process in the realm of this physical dimension. From the perspective of being in the present moment, this can be done far more effectively than it can when you're concerned about a future or you're concerned about a past. It makes it very difficult to really focus on what is in this present moment. That would be of real value to you. Now, a question that William asked me this morning is, well, how can I not be concerned about the future if I wish to plan something? And what I simply said to him is, if you are clear about a present future and you are deeply committed to that present future, then what you will do based on what you know now will determine that that future will come to pass. So planning is implemented from the present moment. It is not implemented tomorrow. But what you would do if you wish to, say, get a driver's license, or you wish to get a certain level of skill, you don't think about getting the skill tomorrow. You think, what do I need to do right now to get towards that skill or that license or that thing that you wish to experience? You start from this moment and you concern yourself not with whether you will get there or not. You simply begin to take the steps in this moment, in thought, in action, that move you towards the now future. As long as you have in mind in this moment is what I am being and doing here and now, part of this now future that I have. The future does not exist tomorrow. It exists right now in what you are being, thinking, saying, and doing right this moment. In the moment, your fear cannot exist. The concept of failure cannot exist in the present moment if you are clear about what your future is now. In the present moment, all fear dies. There is no fear in this present moment. Fear requires that there be the perception of a threat to one's survival or well-being or ideas or outcomes. Fear requires that there be a perception of that. If there is no perception of that, then that energy cannot enter into the equation of your creative process. That does not mean if you are standing beside a volcano and it begins to erupt, that your perception in that moment is not accurate. It is accurate that if that volcano is erupting and you're beside it, there's a very good chance you could become to harm. But if you're in the present moment, you would feel the vibrations of the earth. You would know before even the flames flew forth from the planet, that you would know with absolute certainty in advance from the moment. For even in this moment, for those of you, for example, that are hungry, and suddenly you realize, I am hungry. If you were paying close attention, you would know that you were hungry long before the body finally screams at you to feed it. Or that when you are thirsty, that your body is thirsty. You would know before it gets unnecessarily thirsty. There's a place of knowing in the present moment that lets you perceive in the moment things long before they come to pass, because all things past and future exist in the present moment. All things exist in the present moment. All of them. So I've been going around watching this energy of anxiousness at what I observe with my senses in the world. And it's funny, I keep being put in these positions where the distinction between who I am and who I think I am becomes really evident to me. And John steps in quite frequently and says, that's not you. That fear is not you. That uncertainty is not you. That sadness is not you. That's not who you are. That's perceptions that are stored in the mechanism of your body. And when you're able to move out of them, when you move out of being subjective to them, that's when you start to have choice. So you start to observe them, which is what I start doing. When he says, observe, William, stop, watch this. And suddenly you're watching the anxiousness, or you're watching the fear, or you're watching the sadness, and you realize, wait, I'm observing it. And he goes, exactly. The moment you begin to observe that, you move out of the fear and you move back into the present moment as the observer. From the perspective of being the observer, you have the option then to be functioning as divine creator. Only from that position of observation can you say, this is true, this is not true. This is what I will focus on, this is what I will not focus on. But when you're in it, you cannot do that. So I hope you spend the next few days differentiating between your fear and your being, because there's a difference between who you are as a being and your fear and your sadness and your depression. They are not you. They are perhaps part of your biological experiential memory or your biological experience's anticipation of future possibilities. But your body and your mind and your memories, they're not you. They're, again, instruments that we use. And yes, he says it's really, really important. If you hope to find the joy and peace that you seek, you will not find it from the world, but you can discover that that is what you already are within yourself. Only from the perspective of what is within you can you change that which is around you. Only from that perspective. You cannot change what's within you by changing what's around you. At best, that would be temporary. But the process of longevity and freedom comes from the present moment. In the present moment, you are eternal. You are free. You are not even bound by the death of the flesh when you recognize the nature of your being as that which functions independent of the conditions of matter, but which matter is dependent upon your way in which you interact with it, you can alter and change conditions of matter from your perspective of being. It is from this perspective that you can make any changes that are lasting. Learn to distinguish and differentiate your awareness from your thoughts, your awareness from your body, your awareness from your emotions. That does not mean to ignore them. It simply means to become aware of them, and awareness is able to affect change over them that they themselves cannot affect. Your body in and of itself cannot do certain things that you can direct it to do. Your body has a very limited range in what it is willing to do organically on its own. It is just an animal. But you are able to articulate great change over matter from the perspective of what you are as a being. Your body is wholly dependent. You can direct it to do and to be what you need it to do and to be. And many of you are disconnected from that because you are so entrenched in the experience of the body being. You become the body thinking you are the body, but you are not the body. You are experiencing its experience of being matter, and you are experiencing the experience of consciousness as matter, but you are not the body. You are simply using this mechanism as an instrument of your expression in the present moment. Your body, like any other animal, remembers and anticipates based on its biological interaction with the environment. And many of you have gotten so entrenched in that relationship that you've forgotten to differentiate that you, as an awareness, have a separate and distinct consciousness from that of the body, and are therefore able to affect deliberate and intentional change in matter, especially the immediacy of your body. Many of you do not even realize the simple practical steps of gentle breathing to quiet your mind and relax your body. Very few of you know even the fundamental steps of this. That thought depends upon your attention in order for it to exist. Thought depends upon your attention in order for it to exist. Whether that's the thought that somebody else gives you, or the thought that you've acquired from this world, whatever you give attention to, you give your life to. But this place of overcoming your greatest enemy, this place called the present moment, is a beautiful, peaceful, and loving space. It is not dependent on time, space, nor matter. It does not depend on memory nor anticipation. You do not. You may ask any great teacher or mentor on your planet that understands the process of differentiating between thought, body, emotion, and awareness. They will tell you, in that place of awareness, there is bliss. In that place of awareness, which is what you are, there is freedom. In that place of awareness, which you are, there is creation, and you may create freely, deliciously, and beautifully. The greatest enemy is not your government. The greatest enemy is not the world. The greatest enemy is the fear that you live in that is based in your past or your future. And you may step out of that enemy's arena at any moment. Even in a single breath, you could deliberately and intentionally breathe yourself out of mind and even out of body. You may do this. And in doing this, you liberate yourself from subjectivity to matter and place yourself in the role where you are initiating a creative effect as a matter of creation. Inspiration for your life to manifest and manufacture the changes in your life. You cannot do that from within your mind or body, but you can use the mind and body to affect new creative change in your life. But once you are able to distinguish between your thoughts and your emotions and your body, when you can make that distinction between your thoughts, your emotions, and your body, and yourself as the awareness, at that point, can you then begin to create your life and not simply be playing out the life that you've been told you are supposed to think you are living or being from what you have been told and what you have heard or what you might fear from your past, only from this place of the present moment, where you are in the stillness of your being, can you receive limitless ideas and inspiration, not the limited ones that are simply products of your experience biologically on this dimension, but you may certainly open yourself up and your mind and body to these limitless potentials, but only from this perspective that you can differentiate between your mind, your body, and your emotions. It does not mean to get rid of them. It means you are in a position where you can assert a deliberate and intentional process over them to articulate a different expression that would be more favorable to what you'd want to experience in this dimension. But you cannot create something new in your world from what you already know. That is impossible. You will not create something new in your world from what you already know. You will generate something new from what you do not know. And in order to get to what you do not know, you must step outside of what you know. And if fear and sadness and guilt and shame are all you know, then you must step out of them in order to experience something different than them. And you do not need all the jargon and considerations and manipulations of mental masturbation and psychological innovation to make this distinction. You do not need a degree to breathe your body into a place of peace. You do not need a doctorate to get your mind to be still and quiet so that you can actually begin to have original, real thinking to free yourself from the world that has been foisted upon your consciousness. You can literally begin this delightful process simply by breathing. And your greatest enemy cannot go where you are. When you step out of its arena, it is alone there. Your fear cannot exist without your willing participation in it. But that simple distinction between your awareness observing thought, your awareness observing emotion, your awareness observing body, your awareness observing world, your awareness observing, in this perspective, the process of liberation has begun. And even in considering the possibility that your awareness and your thoughts and your emotions in your body and this world are different degrees of something else, even that consideration that I am aware of thought means I am not thought. Even that consideration that I am not emotion, but I'm aware of emotion, even that consideration begins to take you out of the arena of fear. It begins to take you out of the arena of anger. It begins to take you out of the arena of disappointment and sadness. You now are observing that. And in that position, you liberate yourself from fear. Wonderful. Well, thank you for these super chats, everybody. I really appreciate this. Question from Nicole for her mom. Is there a connection between her and a 30-year-old police officer? Flashing lights occurred when their eyes met. Are they soulmates in a past life? My mom is 70. Wow. Much love to your mother. Yeah, she's got lots to look forward to. I'm being told to tell her she has a lot to look forward to. Do not define your life in terms of that body you find yourself in at this moment. So many of you shortchange your future possibilities from the present moment by thinking that you are limited to that one body in which you find yourself. Yet, even though we can show you clear evidence by the nature of just moving our hands that we direct this body, we are directing it. It is not directing us, we are directing it. Therefore, we are not it. And when the vehicle is worn, we will move on to the next one. But you have much to look forward to, much great excitement. The souls are not dependent upon the time and space of a single lifetime. You will hopefully understand this, that the relationship of souls is not dependent upon a single lifetime. For a soul is not dependent upon a single lifetime because it functions independent of time, space, and matter. So we see a great wonder of excitement coming into your life as an experience in what you call time and space, but do not restrict or limit yourself in any capacity by thinking you have missed something, because you cannot, in all of creation, you cannot miss a thing from the perspective of what you truly, truly, truly are. Beautiful soul. A beautiful soul that dances through lifetime after lifetime, like stepping on the rocks passing over a river. This is what you all do. You cross this river, each step of a rock, another lifetime, and you delight in that. Have you not done that? Have you not seen that? How children will run across a river on the rocks, and some of them will even go right through the river. But they delight in the process of going from one place to the next, to the next, to the next. As you all, whether you know it or not, even in your most darkest states, you still delight in the process of lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And there's a continuity in your consciousness that is aware of this, which is why you find yourselves studying and exploring and wanting to know the truth of the truth. But yes, there will be great delight in her life. As there is great delight in her life right now, understand that the form in which you find yourself is not the single lifetime that you live. You are that single lifetime. You are that soul. Yes. John saying to me that he wanted to add one other thing to this too. That's very important, that you realize that souls are connected eternally. All of us. All souls are connected eternally. Time and space is different. We are living separateness in this dimension, time and space. I'm really happy for you. Thank you for asking that question, Nicole. Really, really appreciate it. That whole concept of, I like that, going across the rocks on the river, and each stone is like a different lifetime. I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that question. Yes. A question from Animation. I had a nightmare that my daughter and grandchildren were in a car accident 4 days after it happened. So scary. Thank God they are all well. Am I able to see future time and space? Absolutely. This is important. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. You must understand what I've been saying today, that this condition of your consciousness is not dependent upon the conditions of time, space, and matter. You as an awareness encompass vastly more in your being than your mind and body does in a single lifetime. Your capacity of consciousness can span tens of thousands, if not millions of lifetimes through many dimensions. If you see yourself simply as a single body, as a single lifetime, as a single entity, then what you are saying would seem somewhat mystical, but from the perspective of what we understand, this is perfectly natural. But what you do need to understand and know is that in the realm of this that you just described, and this question you have asked us, please understand that the minute you become aware perceptually of an event, even if it is of a different time and space from the one that you're localized to through that body, that the moment you align yourself to a particular emotional quality, you participate in its creation. As equally as you can alter the event by changing the electromagnetic relationship to it. In other words, the emotional condition connected to the image can be altered. So what you call time and space or future can be altered even from this present moment, because the future and the past exist in the present moment. So if you find yourself having dreams such as that again, I would highly encourage you to relinquish and completely release your fear and restore your love and gratitude. Always relinquish your fear. It is your greatest enemy, because fear gives you the illusion that you are somehow out of control of the process of your own creation. And that ultimately is what fear is. It ultimately states that I have no power over creation, but you are a very mechanism of creation. Your consciousness, your awareness, you are a mechanism of creation. So you may create events and you may uncreate events. You may become aware of events that others have created and alter that creation because of the nature of what you are. So you may pick up on others' creation. We watch you do this all the time with each other. You may pick up on somebody else's fear or concern. And the moment you pick up that energy, you may relinquish it, release it, and alter the creation. Very wonderful and inspiring question to consider, that you can see the future even now, and that you could change the future from now, that you have the freedom to do this, that you always have the freedom to create. There is nothing in creation that you cannot have some influence over. In fact, every one of you on this planet is participating in this creation deliberately, conspiratorially, playing and dancing with each other. Some of you forgetting that you wrote the dance, others believing that you're the dancer, and that is all okay. But know this, that from this present moment, all that may come, all that may not come, issues forth from this present moment. From this present moment. And your enemy cannot join you in this moment. Your enemy is dependent upon this vibration of fear. And you must hold hands with it in order for it to dance with you. All suffering, all fear, all pain requires that you be willing to take the hand of that dance partner and dance upon the floor with them. But in this present moment, you may sit and you may choose, whom shall I dance with today? I think I shall dance with love today. I think I shall dance with joy today. I think I shall dance with playfulness today. I think I will dance with curiosity today. And I think I will dance and have fun dancing. You may choose the dance. You may choose the partner that you dance with, but you may only do so from the present moment. You cannot do so from tomorrow. You cannot do so from before, but you can in this moment where you realize that thought, emotion, and body are instruments that you use in this now moment to create what you experience as the dance of your life. Wow. Take one more question and then we're going to move on into another wonderful and joyful day. Oh, you're very welcome, Animation. Guys, some of the questions are just amazing. I mean, I get goosebumps when you ask some of these questions, and the answers they give me are wonderful. Question from Sunny. I'm feeling a lot of loneliness for a while. Is that part of the ascension process? Again, yeah, if you view yourself from the perspective of simply being a physical body in which you are residing, then you can have the perception of complete separateness and isolation. If you recognize your connection to the very light that is indeed shining through all points of time and space, and you recognize that filament of connectivity, there's a big distinction between being alone and being lonely. And in terms of this word alone, we would add one more letter to this word. Instead of saying alone, we would say all one. And in that perspective, you may be alone, but all one, and in great joy in that awareness of unity. But in the belief that you are a separate entity from all other things, you will feel that thing that you call loneliness. But we can assure you that you are not lonely in truth. You are all one in truth. Thank you so much for that question, Sunny. Guys, just so you understand, channeling is a natural phenomenon. You can tap into knowledge from any point of time and space that's relevant to you. And again, there's certain caveats to that I'm just beginning to understand. But information and knowledge is available to anyone and everyone. If you want to know more about how to become a spiritual medium or how to open up those pathways, how to open up your clairs, please go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check out our courses and classes. We got a very powerful course coming up in a couple of weeks, our Mediumship 102 program, which is an intermediate level program where you basically learn to master your mind and body and learn the process of meditation. And it's a life-changing event. You can check out some of the videos and comments and questions that are made about our courses and classes on my website. I want to wish you all much love, a joyful day. If you want to support this channel, you can do so through my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. I want to say thank you, everybody, for your questions, your super chats. Much appreciated. Also, for those of you that are unaware, one of the things that we support from this channel is a group called the Underground Railroad, which is a group, an organization that supports rescuing children from the sex slave trade. So we're big, passionate supporters of that, of course. So anything that you contribute to this channel helps with that too. We give about 10% of whatever we get goes towards that group and organization. So much love to you all. Have yourselves a wonderful, joyful day. Write in the comment section what you think, what you felt, what you experienced, what your thoughts are on this subject matter today. And I want to thank my guardian angel John for coming in. He doesn't just come in; he's with me like almost all the time. It's like having somebody tap you on the shoulder every time you're making a mistake. He literally pokes and prods me if I'm in error. Yeah, a lot like my partner. I want to wish you all much love and have yourselves a wonderful, joyful day. And I will see you on Wednesday for Shortcuts for Your Soul. Bye for now.